Hi everyone, Namaste. This is Anjali Kochar. Welcome back to Tookwings by Anjali Kochar. So today at Kahaniyaan, we had a conversation with Miss Sonam Garg Sharma, who is the founder of Medical Linkers, which is a really interestingly concepted company. But again, in this conversation, we discussed everything about entrepreneurship, about, someone who is starting out their brand, their personal brand, their business, how important it is to have a team, how do we build teams, and, what are the values that a founder must possess, and what is the value of research before you are starting out, what are the key things you should keep in mind when you are just starting out your brand. So we discuss everything that a founder must listen to before starting their company or while they are in the initial phases of starting their company. So go check out the podcast and do let me know in the comment section below how did you like it. Also, I've put up the links of Sonam, so that if you have any other questions, you can reach out to her directly. And if you want to be a part of my podcast, you can always comment or reach out to me. Hi Sonam, how are you? Welcome to Kahaniyaan by Tookwings Blog.
Hi, Anjali. I'm good. How about you? Thank you for having me here.
Great, amazing. So, we are going to talk a lot about entrepreneurship today and specifically focusing on women entrepreneurs. But, at Kahania, we have this tradition that we start the podcast with one story, one kahani that is, you would love to share with everyone. And that is, any one story. Like we all are made up of a lot of stories. We all know that. But again, one story which is useful for our audiences or anyone which you would like to share.
Um, if I talk about, can I share a story about my personal journey? How did it started? So it started. If I concentrate on the story itself, it started when my father was diagnosed with a cancer, and I realized that we had all the resources with us to treat him, but we could not get the right guidance at that point of time, Anjali. And and then later on I realized that, I mean, we lost our father at that. It's like 12 years backstory, and that's how Medical Linkers got its wings. So I realized the importance of right time, right guidance, and that's how it gave a structure to Medical Linkers.
Right, right. So could you just tell us more about medical linkers, what actually it is, and how are we helping people out there?
So, Medical Linkers is more than a decade old company. It is a health tourism company where we arrange treatment for international patients. We get patients from outside India, and we arrange their treatments of the patient in India, in Turkey, in Singapore, and other parts of the world as well. So we provide 360 degree of support for a patient when a patient looks for a treatment abroad, because the patient does not have the same medical facility in his or her own country. And right from giving them the opinion on their medical reports, to get them the right doctor's consultation, to arrange the complete treatment once the patient decides to travel, to help them with the medical visas, getting them a right set of facilities to travel from their own home countries, leaving their own secured boundaries to travel to the other countries for getting them the right treatment. Medical Linkers arrange it all. We are one-stop solution for them in the process of getting their hope back.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
That's amazing. So right now it is a full-fledged company helping people internationally as well, right? But when you started Medical Linkers, if we can go back to that time. So, how challenging was it for you to start a company with entirely new concept at that time, I would say. So could you take us through that journey?
uh, uh, Anjali, it started with trying something different. It was
Hmm.
just that. So I was working with Reliance Communication after my MBA. I got selected in Reliance Communication. And then there was a project I undertook at Kokilaben Hospital. And there I met with one of the doctor who was running a health care company, and over a candid conversation over a cup of coffee, he trusted me, and he referred few patients to me afterwards. So while doing my job, I took some leaves, took
Hmm.
my boss into confidence, and I delivered the project. So I arranged their treatment of the patient who was referred by the that doctor, and
Hmm.
it started with something different. But as we say, God has its own plan. I came back to my hometown. I took a transfer to my hometown, that is Indore. And at that point of time, my father was diagnosed with cancer.
Hmm.
And as I told you, at that point of time, we could not get the right guidance, the right set of people who can treat my father.
Hmm.
Uh, that time I realized that if you don't act on time, you lose your loved one. And when I that guilt of losing and not giving my father the right treatment at the right time despite having all the resources, that was something which triggered me, and I realized and I learned there's a huge gap, and there is a lot of scope in this area, in this sector, where I and it slowly developed into the passion. It was like I want to help someone else. Yes, I won't be running an NGO for sure, but giving them the right guidance and helping some family member saving their loved one life, it fueled my passion. So it started from there, Anjali. And I started learning the market, and this is how I built I mean, it was a stepping stone for medical linkers. That passion uh, was the stepping stone for medical linkers at that time.
Absolutely. And that passion, which comes from something very personal,
It
I
was
think.
very personal. It was, yes, it was a life turning moment for us, that we lost our father in no amount of time, and it was a very difficult phase for my family at that time. So yeah, that fueled my entrepreneurship journey, I would say.
Right. So, were there any challenges when you were just starting out as an entrepreneur you would like to share with us? Like people who are starting out, they would also love to know that what does the journey or the roadmap looks like, when they're
बहुत
starting.
सारे challenges थे, अंजलि, बहुत सारे challenges थे. So the first challenge is, if I talk about professionally, so leaving that secured uh, monthly paycheck was the biggest challenge. Leaving your monthly job, secured job, I was always doing good in my job. So leaving that comfort zone was the biggest challenge at that point of time. Then it was my proving my family back 15 years back. It was very difficult. I got married at that point of time. So it
Mhm.
was very difficult to convince my in-laws. Though my husband was always a rock solid support for me, he always backed up my passion to do something of my own. But to convince my family members, to convince my in-laws at that point of time was very challenging for me. But there was something entrepreneur in my within myself. I always wanted to do something of my own, because I
Mhm.
saw my mother. My mother was a very successful entrepreneur. It was
Okay.
two different family combination that came together. My mother, I mean, we were into a business plus a service class family, and when I came into my husband's family, it was a completely high profile jobs family, and they were like, why do you want to do it? Why
Mhm.
do you want to come out of this and take a unnecessary stress? And you're doing a good job, you're performing good, your husband is doing good, why do you want to take an unnecessary step? So to prove why do I want to do this was
Mhm.
a different set of challenge which I faced. Um, and it was at that point of time, it was just not the immediate family, it was whole set of
Right.
societal pressure uh, with in front of you, that you have to prove them, that why do you have to justify that, why do you want to do it, why do you want to carry your passion. It was something difficult, but with my husband's support, and I would say my mother's support, I started the journey. Yeah.
Right, right. No, I completely get that. So, even when I was starting into content or journalism for that matter, and doing something completely on my own, even my family was concerned, that
Yeah.
why do you want to leave engineering and do something of your own? And then do you just
Something out of the box. It is something
something
out of the
out of the
box.
box,
In
right?
fact, I remember one time my mother-in-law said, "Why did you do MBA when you have to do a business?" I said, "MBA is Master of Business Administration. So I can do it, right? I can do it." But yeah, it was difficult completely. Was time pay uh, to give a justified answer that, and back then in my healthcare sector, there were women who were doing jobs, Anjali. But
Hmm.
now, coming into an entrepreneurship role in the men's world, it
Hmm.
was very difficult. So it was not that my in-laws were against doing something, but it was like they were more protective uh,
Right.
for me, that they don't want me to take some unnecessary stress, because I already lost my father. I was in a stress already. I was in emotional. My emotion was whole time low, so I was in emotional stress. So they wanted to be more protective, but I
Hmm.
chose to do something different, like you. Yeah.
So back then, as you're saying that it must be difficult for women to start out, right,
Yeah.
as an entrepreneur. But do you think that things are changing right now? Where do you see women going when it comes to entrepreneurship?
I There is a complete shift nowadays, because we women are more getting accepted. We are getting accepted in the leadership roles now. Even it feels like it's just a decade, but the things have completely changed. At that point of time, saying even to the staff, because all were male team members,
Hmm.
it was difficult to find even the female team members as well at that point of time, to join the team, to join as a partner. Now it is completely different. A lot of women are undertaking, are coming into the roles of leadership, and women, we are widely listened. We are more acceptable that way. And yes, since we have proved, but the journey of proving was very difficult one, actually. So that journey to destination, the road to destination, is always difficult. But
Hmm.
now people have seen that we have proved our worth, so we are more accepted worldwide, I would say, that way. So yeah, it is a completely paradigm shift, I would say.
Absolutely. So, for let's say not just for women, but for anyone who is starting out in their entrepreneurial journey. So, what are the few things, maybe three or five things you would like to share that they should keep in mind while they are just starting up with their company?
Mm. You should be I would say there is no perfect time, first of all.
Hmm.
I would say, if you're clear with your vision,
Hmm.
if you have that passion to fuel your vision,
Right.
you have that vision to grow big,
Hmm.
we should start. um, I mean, there's no perfect time, there is no perfection. We learn by our own mistakes. So we should just start. If we have that vision, if we can define our that, where do I want to see myself in 5 years and 10 years of line down the lane. I think there is, sky is the limit.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
vision is absolutely the key,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say. But again, when you're thinking big, then you're, you also have to build a team for it, right? And that's where some people go wrong. So what do you suggest on that? I mean, how do we build a team which is like focused on the same passion or are fueled by the same passion we have?
You're absolutely correct, Anjali. So when I started, I did a lot of mistakes. I committed a lot of mistakes because we women think that we are superwomen. We can do everything by ourselves, uh, and we don't want to keep any gaps or loopholes. And the fear of making mistakes, I used to do everything by myself, and
Mm.
later on I realized, no, I cannot. When there are a lot many stakeholders which are involved and you have to deliver, you cannot be present everywhere, right?
Right.
So the most important thing is to download your vision to your team members, that this is my passion, this is my vision, and this is the crux of the company, I would say.
Mm.
And then delegate their roles and responsibilities. Authority and responsibilities goes hand in hand. So you have to trust your team, you have to trust your partner, you have to trust your stakeholders. And if there is a and we in medical linkers, we treat every case as a mission. And before we start proceeding with a mission, I would say we always try to talk, and we always try, if there is a hurdle, we try to discuss and try to see which person fits the best to assign in completion of the task. So we assign that kind of a person, that kind of a staff or a partner in that work, I would say. And when we know कि ये problems आ सकती हैं, we discuss among ourselves, and then we try to overcome the hurdles. And this is how we delegate. We delegate. We trust our team members. And I must say, I have a strong, solid team and the partners over the period of time, because uh, whenever I hire a team, and whenever medical linkers take a team member in medical linkers, or we are associate with the partners, there are some non-negotiable parameters or crux, I would say, the stepping stones, which we clearly mention that ये चीजें तो non negotiable हैं, and we have to abide by these policies and structures while delivering a project. So this is how we try to overcome the hurdles. Yeah.
Right. So, I've realized that whenever I speak to a founder,
Mhm.
values I believe that are very important for anyone I speak to who has been in the industry for the longest of time, right?
You're absolutely correct. Yeah, because
Mm.
even it becomes all the more very important when it comes to healthcare, because in healthcare we deal with life. So we cannot deal people like a transaction. That one transaction is complete. It's a lifelong cycle. You have to handhold the patient journey. You know,
Mm.
uh, so you cannot play with anyone's life because you lose a life. So
Mm.
it becomes all the more important for us to see that what we are delivering, what a patient wants from us, what a patient family wants from medical inker as a team. And also, just not the patient, what a doctor who is referring us the patient, there are a lot of reputation which is involved of a doctor when they refer a patient to medical linkers. So he's a stakeholder in medical linkers team, so we don't want to let them down as well. So the values plays very important role in delivering or achieving success, I would say.
Right.
The
So,
success. Yeah.
so in your view, what are the key values that any founder must possess in them?
Key values of empathizing. If I'll talk about healthcare sector, value of empathizing.
Mm.
That value of empathizing, value of doing uh, understanding what the patient family wants from us.
Mm.
And I would say, when you empathize, you understand the struggles or the mindset of the other party, the other clients. And that's how I feel empathizing is a very important value, uh, which is a crux of medical linkers, which we have built. Yeah. Compassion, empathizing is the crux which we have built medical linkers on. Yeah.
Right. So, when we are talking about building something, then there it is bound to happen that there must be downfalls as well, failures as well, hurdles as you mentioned as well. So, how should someone as an entrepreneur navigate those failures in your view?
I would say nothing is, you don't need to be perfect. Sometimes you learn with your own mistakes, and mistakes are bound to happen because not everything is under your control most of the time. So you try to do your best,
Hmm.
set up the right expectations.
Hmm.
Sometimes sometimes there's a guilt, and then because of that guilt of saying no, you say yes to everything. But yes, you have to set out that clear expectation that we uh, what you can deliver the best, what is in your hand.
Hmm.
And whatever is in your hand, whatever limited resources you have in your hand, try to do your best. And i think uh, I think it helps you achieve uh, the right decision and the success as well. This is what I feel.
Right. So, how important do you think that research is, before you start any company? I mean,
Absolutely important. You need to learn the market where so if I talk about a business perspective, yes, you need to learn what is the market scenario,
hmm,
where is the gap in the market,
hmm,
how can you fulfill that gap, what
right,
is the mm, uh, every shoe doesn't fit all, not every shoe fits all, right? So every for every market you have to define a different strategy, right?
right,
Different approach, how to gain that confidence, how to get the business from there, how to get the flow from there. You have to define that strategy. Yes, market strategies, learning market is absolutely non-negotiable. You have to learn the market. That's how you can develop a strategy according to that market, and then you can create a process and a structure to work on that market, on that particular market. Yeah.
right, right. So, I have seen that, people drop off in between their entrepreneurial journey because they didn't do the right kind of research, or because they had a lot of failures when they were starting out only, so they just leave whatever they're passionate about, right? So what do you feel about that? And I mean, do you think that it takes a lot of time, or time is just I don't know, I mean, how do I say that? What is the value of time here?
आई थिंक हम कंप्लीटली ड्रॉप आउट को अंजलि, मुझे लगता है ड्रॉप आउट कर दिया वो गलत है कहना भी समटाइम्स सही नहीं होगा, बिकॉज
Hmm.
समटाइम देर आर लॉट ऑफ फैक्टर्स दैट uh, that defines your that defines, I would say, or that makes you decide that you have to drop out. Sometimes it happens, some factors are not in your hand. Sometimes you have very limited resources, you want to do it, but that failure makes you impossible to do it. But
Hmm.
I would still say, so I'll give you an example.
Hmm.
So when my in-laws were like completely against it, and they were like, why do you want to take that stress?
Hmm.
So I told them one thing, that maybe when I grow old, maybe when I'm 60, I don't want to sit in a chair, and I don't want to regret that I didn't do it that time. You know,
Right.
I must, I must have done it that point of time, and it was not easy. It's easier said than done, also, Anjali.
Hmm. Hmm.
बिकॉज देयर वर लॉट ऑफ हर्डल्स. सो क्या होता है ना कि आपके पास बहुत लिमिटेड रिसोर्सेज होते हैं. यू ट्राई टू टेक आउट योर सेविंग्स.
Hmm.
You have to build the trust at the same time. You have to do a lot of things at the same time. You have to
Hmm.
you have to do marketing. You have to take care of operations. For any entrepreneur, you have to do marketing by yourself. You have to I think you will understand it
Right.
better, right? You have to do marketing also, you have to do the operational works also, you have to overcome the hiccups as well,
Hmm.
and you have to fuel your resources, your savings, which you have done it from your past, and you don't want to take uh, nobody is there at that point of time who is trusting on you. Funding and all comes in a later stage, right? So first you have to build that system. It is very difficult actually, but I still say you try to your last, you know, till your last क्या कहना चाहिए, breath, I would say. I mean, we should be that I gave my best. Now things are not working out. It's fine. Maybe it's not the right time. It's not the right time. Let's move on to something else and maybe we come back again. Maybe we
Absolutely.
build it again. So there is nothing that आज खत्म हो गया तो सब कुछ खत्म है. It is never
Right.
like that. It maybe it's not the right time right now. We'll come back with a bang, I would say, you know. So that should be the spirit.
No, that's such a beautiful point you just made. I mean, yeah, it is not important to do something at that point of time, maybe because maybe अपना वक्त बाद में है.
Ah, sometimes, you know, वो सही time नहीं था. Maybe God has its own plan. So I believe in destiny also.
Right.
But yes, you can shape your destiny with your hard work. So
Hmm.
maybe this is not the right time, and then we start slowly going to other direction. More, we try to learn from our mistakes, as we said. Of,
Hmm.
we try to keep on learning things, learn,
Hmm.
unlearn. Should be a process, I would say, and then you come with a bang.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, since you mentioned unlearning as well, so I was just reading a book, and there was this point about learning, unlearning, and relearning.
Yeah.
So, I was very intrigued by that point, and you also mentioned that unlearning and relearning is also very important, right? So, do you have something to add on to that point, that how important is unlearning at this point?
Yeah, as I told you, Anjali, to learn by your own mistakes.
Hmm.
So, like in my uh, early years, earlier career life, I wanted to do everything by myself, you know, and I wanted to get into everything. I wanted to get into marketing, or even if I build a good team also, I started doing micromanagement, you know, that ये क्यों नहीं हो रहा, ये इस टाइप से ही होना चाहिए.
Hmm.
Some this should go with this structure, and sometimes we realize that what we tend to think that that whatever we are thinking, the other person will also think in the same direction, which is
Right.
not true every time.
Hmm.
Maybe the goals are same, but directions might be different, or the way of doing or accomplishing the goals are different, you know.
Hmm.
But you have to trust the team, you have to trust the stakeholders, and that's how you I started unlearning. I stopped doing micromanagement to my team members also, to my
Hmm.
partners also. I let them handle a case. See, one thing, that the goals are common goals
Hmm.
in the
Hmm.
company, they are non-negotiable. Now I let them do the things, you know, myself, and then I started giving them more responsibility. I always tell them that this is your authority and this is your responsibility.
Hmm.
Achieve it, and if there is a problem, let's try to overcome it together. So this is how I stopped poking my nose, I would say, in
Hmm.
everything, and I let them do their work. And this way the team also started getting that confidence. They also started gaining that strength, and they also learn. They also they are also progressing in their life, you know. So
Hmm.
this way, when a team member comes and tell me, ma'am, because you gave me this project, it was looking something that I could not do it, but
Hmm.
now see, ma'am, I could do it. Now I have I have more confidence in doing the stuff.
Right,
Now you can give me the another project. So
right,
this this gives you a happiness that, you know, I'm helping my team members. uh, just because I unlearned the micromanagement, I
right,
unlearned to poke my nose in everything. Sometimes I would say I am helping my team members to grow in their and shaping their future as well.
right.
Yeah.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. So, you know, people who want to become founders, they want to know the routine or the rituals founders who have made it follow. So, what is your routine, or what are your rituals you imbibe by?
Oh my God, my rituals. There are no set rituals, I would say, but the first thing in the morning I do is hug my daughter, do shukrana to my God, that whatever has been given to me is a blessing.
Mm.
and give me that strength to overcome the hurdles. Then
Mm.
morning cup of coffee, evening cup of coffee with my husband,
Mhm.
uh, delegating task every morning, that you have to delegate the task, and then evening wrapping up of things, that and time management. These are
Mm.
the few attributes I feel is important for any person to
Mm.
be managing and balancing the work and taking the right decision. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if we wrap up the conversation here, what are the key takeaways, or some things which are very important for any founder that you would like to share for whoever who is listening to the conversation?
I would say believe in yourself.
Mm.
If you define your
Hmm.
why do you want to do it,
Hmm.
uh, and if you get an answer of why, uh, build your system early, you know create a structure that how do you want to see things progressing.
Right.
uh, Learn from your mistakes.
Hmm.
you know there is nothing which is absolutely right.
Hmm.
you know
Hmm.
so crisis management is one thing.
Hmm.
You should know that a crisis can come anytime, so you have to be that patient enough, that resilient enough to handle the crisis, and don't carry it all. Build a good team within yourself, within your structure, and achieve the success together, and share the piece of success, the that cake of success, that with everyone. And the, self prioritize yourself as well, because self prioritizing is very important actually. So if you don't self prioritize yourself, you cannot have a calm mind, and the decision making, it will be very vague when it comes to decision making. So you need to have a calmer mind to achieve uh, that passion of yours, that journey of yours. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I can resonate with whatever you just said.
Yes.
It's amazing because whenever we are building something, we tend to forget ourselves, and we tend to stop prioritizing our
Yes.
body, our mind, and we are just focusing on like maybe like how a new mother is more focused on the baby and sometimes forgets about.
Because you have to, as a woman, you have to be multitasking, right? So it starts from when even if you are a daughter,
Mm,
uh, we are born that way, that we want, the god has made, I feel that the god has made women as a more stronger they are better managers, I would say.
mm, mm,
So while managing the expectations of, as a daughter, as a wife, then as a mother, and as an entrepreneur, or as in not just entrepreneur, as a working woman, I would say,
mm.
you try to forget yourself sometimes. But but I think we have to stop somewhere. We have to define sometimes our priorities. Also, we have to set a clear boundaries, that from here it is, we have to take out that me time, and that
Mm,
me time can be anything. For me, it is having a long drive with my daughter and my
mhm,
husband, having a coffee date with my husband, I would say.
mm,
And yeah, and then it is very important. It gives you a clear picture that,
mm,
okay, this is what my goal is. I don't want to deter from my goal. If maybe I'm deviating, sometimes I realize it, and then I come back again, uh,
mm,
with all my strengths and my accomplishment. And I would say we don't have to prove ourselves most of the time.
mm.
We don't. We rather have to focus on our strength and accomplishment, I would say. Yeah.
Right, right. And as you previously mentioned that nothing can happen with a cluttered mind.
Yes.
Specifically,
Yeah.
when you are you need creativity in any field, any business,
Yeah.
so you can't come up with good ideas when you have a cluttered mind. It is very important to prioritize yourself in that sense, whether it is just a warm hug to your daughter, or going on a coffee date. So
And
amazing.
as a woman entrepreneur, it is even more important, because, not just a woman entrepreneur, any entrepreneur, when you start a journey, there is a team which look up to you.
Right.
There is a family which look up to you. They have a lot of confidence in you, right? So there is, a lot of responsibilities on your shoulder, I would say.
Mm.
So you need to have that balance mind, uh, to go forward and fulfill all of the expectations around you.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
last minute question, but do you have any book references, any reading references for the audiences?
I would say the 5 a.m. Club by
Mm.
by
Robin.
Robin Sharma. Yeah,
Mm.
it's a good. Actually, it changed my habit. I was always a night riser, and then
Mm.
when I started reading the book, I started, what is the importance of time, how to prioritize your time in the morning, how to delegate your work, how to do all the important work by 12,
Right.
and then rest of the other works later in the day, and how can
Mm.
you achieve success by that. But it has helped me tremendously, I would say.
Amazing. Even when I started like rereading after, when I grew up, grew old, this was one of the first books I had in my.
Is it? Oh, that's great. And nice to know. I was an avid reader, Anjali, during my MBA time, and as I say that, during my initial days of struggles, years of struggle, I stopped reading. I used to boast my husband about this, that I can read a book in like in like 4 hours. I can complete a book. But then slowly I stopped following that habit, that hobby of mine.
Mhm.
Though my husband always tried reminding me that stop taking stress, start. He gifted me a Kindle also, but I stopped. But later on, I realized that if I have to go an extra mile, uh, I need I need to stop somewhere, uh, understand what I'm, revive my hobbies, and learn from there, uh, and then nobody is there to stop you.
No, absolutely. I completely agree with you on that because, as you said that you stopped in between, you stopped reading in between. So it recently happened with me also. Like
Yeah,
for a year, I just
you forget your hobbies actually. Yeah.
right, and then I've started rereading now. So now I'm getting that, that flow back of
We
reading.
find so solace in, coming back to our own hobbies, and yeah, so
Absolutely.
yes, that's it.
Great. Thank you so much, Sonam, for this amazing conversation. I enjoyed it thoroughly and it was very insightful as well. Thank you so much for being the part of the podcast.
Thank you, Anjali. Thank you, Anjali, for having me here. I would say thank you. Have a nice day.